him for being a role model to the youth. Expressing his appreciation to the Students' Christian Movement for the honor, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo urged Nigerian youths to take advantage of the abundant opportunities open to them in agriculture, information technology, and other sectors, stressing that the opportunities are more now than in the past. The Vice President emphasized the need for young people to take responsibility for their future and to be creative, as well as boost their global competitiveness. He also advised religious bodies to channel their energies towards providing solutions to the numerous challenges facing the nation. Reverend Eric Yalo is the national president of the Students' Christian Movement.
We go back with a challenge that it's not all going to be beds of roses. We have work to do with our young people and secondary school people.
The group commended the federal government for its social intervention programs, which are seen as capable of lifting the country to a greater height. In the State House, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
And to security matters, the Chief of Air Staff, Air Vice Marshal Sadiq Abubakar, has pledged the determination of the federal government and the Nigerian Air Force to completely defeat Boko Haram and all criminal groups in the country. He was speaking at a press briefing in Maiduguri to review the various operations and achievements of the Nigerian Air Force from January to December 2016.
And what is important, like I said, we'll continue to do our best. We'll make sure now that we do fly day and night to make sure that these people are not regrouping. And from the pictures we have seen in the last few days, we have not seen anybody in Zambiza forest. We are closely monitoring day and night. And when we pick anybody, if at all we feel that what we are picking is a threat to our ground troops and our communities, we'll get fighter aircrafts to engage those targets.
Air Vice Marshal Nuruddin Balogun, the Air Officer Commanding Tactical Air Command, spoke extensively on the campaign by the Nigerian Air Force in the last 1 year, said this has brought under control terrorism, militancy, political, religious and ethnic crisis, economic sabotage and all forms of criminality.
Operation helped to curtail the activities of criminal elements, thus creating the enabling environment for significant increase in production of crude oil. I can therefore state here that the economic activities are gradually returning to the once insurgent-prone regions of our country.
The Nigerian Air Force said adherence to Nigerian Air Force concept operation and rules of engagement were key to the achievements recorded. In a related development, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Burtai, has re-emphasized the need for the Army to maintain high-level physical fitness and combat readiness of troops at all times. Lieutenant General Burtai said this at the monthly route march, Keep Fit exercise organized by Army Headquarters Garrison in Abuja. Abdullahi Ajia completes this story.
The exercise commenced from the Agui-Ronson cantonment through Niger and Manbile barracks, testing the physical fitness and endurance of troops and later terminating at the take-off point. After some kilometers of jogging and exercises, at the end of it all, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, re-emphasized the need for exercise, physical fitness to keep the Army fit in order to carry out their mandate efficiently and effectively.
A soldier that is not physically fit, definitely he has no place in the military. And we want to continue to emphasize the essence of physical fitness. And with the physical fitness, you'll be able to do a lot. Physically, you'll be fit to assess you, as well as to see that you are mentally also stable and mentally fit.
The Army Chief reiterated that the Army will continue to remain professional in the discharge of its duties while working to consolidate on the gains and successes of 2016. From Agui-Ronson Cantonment in Abuja, Abdullahi Ajia, NTA News.
Still talking security, Nigerian government is doing everything possible towards the release of the remaining abducted Chibok schoolgirls. Minister of Women Affairs Aisha Jumai Al-Hassan said this when she received in audience the UN Resident Humanitarian Coordinator and UNDP Resident Representative in her office. Murjanatu Adam takes it from here.
The visit by the UN Resident Humanitarian Coordinator and UNDP Resident Representative is to assist Nigeria in the area of humanitarian crisis, particularly in the northeast, the Niger Delta region, and Benue State, as well as the implementation of the MDGs. Edward Carlon said he is in Nigeria at the most challenging time, but efforts will be made between the UN and the Nigerian government for a sustainable solutions.
My key function is to ensure that humanitarian assistance is timely, efficient, effective, and also contributes to longer-term development.
On the release of the remaining kidnapped Chibok schoolgirls by Boko Haram insurgents in April 2014, the minister said,
the ones that are yet to be released, negotiations are going on through between the security men and the captors of the girls, and we are hoping that very soon, by the grace of God, the others too will be released.
More than 20 were released in October last year, with plans on the way to integrate them into school and engage them in vocational skills in Abuja. Murjanatu Adam Said, NTA News.
And now to agriculture. The federal government has warned against hoarding of food items as the government has no plan to buy grains from hoarders for storage. The Minister of State for Agriculture, Heineken Lopobri, said this in an exclusive interview with agriculture correspondent Musa Baba Aliu. Take a listen.
The United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, encouraged countries to keep and store at least 5% of its total annual food production to guard against emergency. With the fear of famine, considering the amount of food items being exported out of the country, the federal government has commenced the purchase of grains and the stocking of her grain strategic reserves nationwide. The government, however, raised concerns over the way some merchants are hoarding large tons of harvested grains with the hope of selling at exorbitant price to the federal government.
Anybody who is buying maize, who is buying, soya beans, who is buying, other grains and storing or hoarding, thinking that government will come and buy, is wasting his time, because government all over the world buys grains from farmers as a last resort, not from others. Farmers, if they let them, upscale their production, there's sufficient market, not only for Nigerians, but the entire West African sub-region. So there is enough incentive, from federal government through the Anchor Program Scheme, through other, programs that we have, the GAS and other programs that we have in the Ministry of Agriculture, to encourage agribusiness and upscale investment in agriculture.
The Minister of Agriculture, Audu Ogwe, has recently said the ministry is looking at the possibility of reintroducing commodity marketing boards as part of measures to address inflation. In Abuja, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
And away from agriculture, the Special Marian Devotion Center, Elele, River State, has been affirmed the National Pilgrimage Center of Nigeria. The president of the Catholic Episcopal Conference of Nigeria, Right Reverend Ignatius Kaigama, Archbishop of Jos Archdiocese, made the reaffirmation in Elele at a special service to mark the elevation of the center. Emeka Opala completes the story.
Presenting the certificate of approval to the founder of the National Pilgrimage Center, Very Reverend Father Emmanuel Ede, Archbishop Kaigama, accompanied by many bishops, said the Catholic bishops of Nigeria are satisfied that the Eucharistic adoration and special Marian devotion LLA has all it takes to be even an international pilgrimage center. Bishop Kaigama, who is also the president of Catholic Episcopal Conference of West Africa, commended Father Ede for lifting the status of Nigeria with the gift of the center and prayed God to shower him with long life and abundant blessings.
The Catholic Bishops' Conference of Nigeria hereby grants national approval to the Pilgrimage Center of Eucharistic Adoration and Special Marian Devotion.
In a homily to mark the end of the 1-week Eucharistic adoration and special Marian devotion, the Catholic Bishop Oka Diocese, Most Reverend Dr. Jonas Benson Okoye, said the church is blessed with the gift of the person of Father Ede, whom he said has achieved what great men had not achieved. Dr. Lawrence Brennan Jr. from United States of America and other pilgrims who spoke to NTA News echoed the achievements of Father Ede in the area of uplifting the less privileged members of the society.
There is greatness in this man.
Responding, Father Ede said all the glory and adoration should go to Jesus the Savior and his mother Mary.
I only thank Jesus the Savior who made it possible, and blessed be the man who is behind everything.
The ceremony, which coincided with the 14th convocation ceremony of Madonna University, founded by Father Ede, also featured doctorate degree awards on Bishop Kaigama and Dr. Jerry Brennan from Omaha, Nebraska, United States of America. Emeka Okpala, NTA News.
Many thanks, Emeka. You are watching NTA International News from Nigeria's capital city of Abuja. We'll take a quick break. More stories when we come back. Stay with us.
Hear the call of change. Stand up, Nigeria. Change is here and it's going to stay. Change begins with you. Oh yeah, make we go. So let the change begin from within. Look at you, Ogeruola. Change begins with you and me. Change begins with me. Change begins with me. Change begins with
NTA International News. Africa as it is.
Welcome back. For a review of stories that shaped the outgoing week, let's now join Justin Bem Unyi.
The first week of the new year was packed with lots of events, beginning with President Muhammadu Buhari's interview with the editorial board of the Guards Brigade Scorpion magazine, where he said his administration has no regret whatsoever as regards the decisive step being taken against those who abused trust and embarrassed the country through unpatriotic activities. The president was particularly alarmed by the acts of corruption perpetrated in the military before he came to power, thereby compromising national security and stability.
We are working out from institutions to bank accounts here, outside, and to assets. Houses cannot run away. Some of them have 6 houses in Abuja. Some have single house costing hundreds of millions. Some have properties outside and investment. We will get that. And we thank God. Some people are working hard. They have taken an initiative to improve the quality of the judiciary so that we can raise a good team and send these crooks to them with facts. With facts. And then when they prove that they are the one who stole that money, who abused trust, then it's up to the judiciary to use its judgment and sentence them accordingly.
The week in check also had the report of the commencement of the payment of 5,000 monthly stipends to the poorest and the most vulnerable in the country through the Conditional Cash Transfer CCT of the federal government social investment program. Reports had it that funds for the commencement of the payments in 4 states were released to the Nigeria Interbank Settlement System, NIBSS, the platform that hosts and validates payments for all government social intervention programs. Another big story for the week under review came from the Federal Executive Council meeting, where the federal government approved the procurement of state-of-the-art firefighting equipment in response to the incidences of fire outbreak across the country. Minister of Interior Abdulrahman Dambazao announced this as the council also approved the completion of Kaduna Airport Terminal building.
Fire service needs a lot of strength, a lot of energy to be able to tackle some of these challenges. We want to make fire service attractive.
Within the same week, you also heard that as the federal government plans the construction of a second runway for Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, which is to be concessioned after concluding arrangement, the current runway, due to its deteriorating condition, is to be refrained from the 8th of March to the 19th of April to avoid disaster. The Minister of State for Aviation, Hadi Sirika, who disclosed this during a stakeholders meeting in Abuja, said, consequently, the Kaduna International Airport is to serve as alternative airport. Now, from the National Assembly came a report in the outgoing week that the Senate President Bukola Saraki said that the Senate, upon resumption, will look into the crises that have led to the wanton loss of lives and property in the southern part of Kaduna State in recent times. The Senate President made this known while responding to the cry of a concerned Nigerian on Twitter over the massacre of about 800 Christians in Kaduna South. Another story that made headlines during the first week of the year was troops of Operation Lafia Doli discovering one of the abducted Chibok schoolgirls, Rekia Abubakar, with her 6-month-old baby. A statement from the army said the girl was discovered during investigation of arrested suspected Boko Haram terrorists, adding that she is the daughter of Abubakar Gali Mulima and Habiba Abubakar of Chibok. And still on security, now from the Nigeria police, you heard in the course of the week that 6 officers in the Rivers State Command were dismissed for abuse of firearms and disobeying the Inspector General's directive not to carry firearms at polling units. Force Public Relations DCP Don Awuna, while parading the police officers, including 1 inspector of police and 5 sergeants, said the officers had been tried and found guilty.
These are formation police officers were in the convoy of His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Rivers State, Mr. Nyesom Wike, on the date of election. The service personnel became overzealous, took laws into their hands, and opened fire, causing panic in the crowd.
Away from security now to other issues. During the week, northern governors appealed to the Totiv-elect Professor James Ayate to work towards unifying the people of the region. The governors made the appeal during a solidarity visit to the monarch at his Makudi residence. The delegation was made up of governors of Borno, Bauchi, and Kano states. And just before we round off the review for the week, from sports, you heard that Algeria Leicester City player Riyad Mahrez was crowned the Africa Footballer of the Year 2016 Thursday night in Abuja. Nigeria's senior women national team emerged winner of the 2016 Glow CAF Award Women's National Team of the Year. Nigeria's Super Falcons